there, all the drugs were there. In just like 3 days, I packed everything in. Because all the groups were there, all the drugs were there. In just like 3 days, I packed everything in. Because all the groups were there, all the drugs were there. In just like 3 days, I packed everything in. Because all the groups were there. All the groups were there, all the drugs were there. In just like 3 days, I packed everything in. Because all the groups were there, all the drugs were there. In just like 3 days, I packed everything in. Because all the groups were there, all the drugs were there. In just like 3 days, I packed everything in. Because all the groups were there, all the drugs were there. In just like 3 days, I packed everything in. Because all the groups were there, all the drugs were there. In just like 3 days, I packed everything in. Because
this landing is part of the concerted United Nations plan for the liberation of Europe.